But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and welcome back to the Anthony James Show. I'm starting something here on Sports Fan Entertainment. I'm going to give you my NFL power rankings each week of the NFL season, and I think we'll start this week with what I think many people will consider stupid spots. You think your team is too low, you think this team is too low or that team's too high. I'm expecting that. If you're wondering, now Anthony, how did you come to that conclusion? What I did was I went by what I think all 32 teams will do record-wise this year. And I went from who I have as the best team, the New England Patriots, all the way down to the bottom, the New Orleans Saints. I updated it. I changed after the Bridgewater and Romo injury. I changed some things. You can check that out on my channel, hear in full what I have to say about that. But for the record, I went from the top-rated team, which I had at 13-3 for the Patriots, all the way to the bottom of 3 and 13 with the New Orleans Saints. They aren't the only 3 and 13 team, but they're the ones I put at the bottom. So let's get to it. The Patriots are number one, and I think many people will be, well, why on earth would you put the Patriots as number one? Which I think is a fair question. Let's look at it this way. They're the one team that is consistent. Think about it this way. The Vikings lose Teddy Bridgewater for all of the season. It seems like their season is over. I think if it was the other way around, Tom Brady got injured or Jimmy Garoppolo had to play all 16 games because Brady was suspended, something like that, I think the Patriots would be fine. I think the Patriots would be good to go, and people wouldn't be questioning them. Would they be the top-rated team? No. Would they still win the division? I think so. I think the only team that's going to put up a good fight are the Jets. So I think this is still their division, even if Brady doesn't play a single down this year. The Patriots are that good, and that's why I have them at the top. Then we look at number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. They are a consistent team. Russell Wilson took the next step last year. That's what he did at the end of the year. You can put him in as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I truly believe he is one of the best right now in the NFL. There's a reason they're up so high. Then I have the Panthers, the defending NFC champions. They're still good. They're still a good team. Josh Norman gone, that's going to hurt. But Cam Newton also stepped it up last year. And if he can play like that again, he will be considered one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL for years to come. This is the prove-it year. If he can do it again this year, I don't think anybody's going to argue against Cam Newton for years to come. I have the Colts at number 4. That might be a little bit high. I think that's fair. However, I have them at 12-4. And frankly, they have one of the best young quarterbacks in Andrew Luck. In my eyes, that's all you need. The Packers are number 5. They're in the top 5. Aaron Rodgers, many people still consider him the best quarterback in the NFL. If not Tom Brady, it's Aaron Rodgers. That's how it is. When you have Aaron Rodgers, it really doesn't matter how good or bad the rest of the team is. If you have Aaron Rodgers, at least right now in his career, you're going to be considered one of the best teams in the NFL. And that's how the Packers are. Oh, we move down to number 6, the Bengals. They're just a consistent playoff team. If you are worrying about putting someone in the playoffs, the Bengals are always that safe bet to go in the playoffs. However, can they succeed? That's the question. Number 7, the Cardinals. I think this is a fair place to put them. People will put them as the top 3 or even the top team. But let's be honest, Carson Palmer's not getting any younger, and Larry Fitzgerald's not getting any younger. How long can these two keep playing at a high level? I don't know. We could see a dip in production this year. I wouldn't be surprised. And they're still against the Seahawks, who, if they didn't start out so poorly last year, could have put up a strong fight to win that division. You have the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell being gone the first 3 games hurts. Martellus Bryant being gone the entire season hurts. There's just some things here and there. If suspensions, injuries, if all of that weren't a problem, I think we'd be talking about the Steelers as one of the best teams in football. Then we have the Broncos at 9. People might argue against that, but they're the defending Super Bowl champions. They have the best defense still in the NFL, at least in my eyes. And I don't think their offense is as bad as what people think. I think their offense is underrated. I don't think it's great, but it's underrated. Then you have the Jets. One of the best. They're still one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's the Jets for you. And defenses can carry teams. Raiders, they've been doing a great job. That's why I have them at number 11. Derek Carr, They're going to be fighting for the playoffs. I think they can win double digits this year. The Cowboys at 12, that people might say, oh, that's too high. Maybe I'm just going off what I think Dak Prescott can do. He's been doing all right. He's not going to be Tony Romo, but he's not going to be the other quarterbacks they've had the past few seasons where Romo missed a game or games. I think he'll do a better job than them, can keep the ship afloat until Romo comes back. Then you have the Redskins. This is really contingent on Kirk Cousins doing it again. I think he can. Number 14, the Buccaneers. Jameis Winston, honestly, this is the main reason I even have him up this high. He is a good quarterback. I'm excited this season about him. Jaguars, they're finally building something. They're in the top half of the league, which is crazy because who would have thought this would actually happen with the Jaguars? They're in the top half now. Watch out. They might not be a playoff team, but they could very well have a winning record this year. The Bears at 16 to just get in that top half of the NFL. They didn't do too bad last year under John Fox's first year. Jay Cutler looked good, at least decent, and he didn't miss much. Will be interesting to see how he does without Adam Gase this year. Then at 17, just barely missing. The Chiefs, people might argue against that, but let's be honest. How great is that offense, really? Really, how great is it? Alex Smith, I like him more than the average person does. But really, Alex Smith, I mean, this team, I don't think they're in the top half. They're in a tough division. Keep that in mind. The Giants at 18. I'm not a big fan of these free agent signings. I know people want to have them with a high winning record or have them winning the division. No. They're going to be free agent busts. I don't think it's going to be one guy. I think it's going to be multiple guys. You have to prepare for that. At least that's what I am going to be doing. Then we have the Texans at 19. Honestly, they're doing better than I thought. I wouldn't be surprised as this season goes on, the Texans move up the list. They're definitely a team that I could see that happening to. This is really contingent on Brock Osweiler. If Osweiler can do well, this team could very well go up higher and maybe even go in the top 10. I wouldn't be surprised, but Brock Osweiler really needs to step it up compared to last year. Lions, I mean, at this point, the Lions, they're 20. They're not great. They're not bad. They're just kind of there. They're in the middle. Unfortunate. Ravens at 21. This team's just getting too old. They haven't been drafting well. Something needs to change here for me to really see this team being better. Rams at 22. You drafted a quarterback at number 1 overall, and he's your third string. That tells you what the Rams are this year. Then you have the Bills at 23. I'm just not a big fan. That defense should be better than what it is. Tyrod Taylor. I don't know. Is he a one-year wonder? I don't know. And I guess we're going to find out this season. But I have question marks definitely when it comes to the Bills. 24, Dolphins. I don't really trust Ryan Tannehill anymore. I'm not a big Adam Gase fan at this point, especially it's his first year. I'm not expecting much from this team. The Chargers. I'm not a big Mike McCoy fan. And honestly, outside of Phillip Rivers, it's like pulling teeth trying to say good players on this team. It really is. There's only a handful of guys I can really even say are good players for this team. Then the Titans at 26. Surprisingly, this is kind of higher than I thought. Large part because of Mariota and another part just because they've had so many draft picks. And honestly, minus their head coach signing, this hasn't been that bad of an offseason for the Titans. I don't think they'll be terrible like they have the last few years, but this isn't that great of a team at the same time. The Falcons at 27. I don't know what's happened to Matt Ryan. Do you? Because I have no clue. Something happened with Matt Ryan. I don't know. Matt Ryan's not that good anymore. This defense is still struggling. Kyle Shanahan, I was expecting more from him last year. He disappointed in the second half of the season, especially. Dan Quinn, a lot needs to change here. Julio Jones can't be your team. Yes, Viking fans, I have the Vikings at 28. That might be too low. Yes, I think there are other people who will put them higher. Right now, I think they're a 4-12 team. They could win more games, right? But you're telling me that you're bringing in Sam Bradford, who has not spent this offseason with the organization. He has to learn a new playbook. Don't tell me Pat Schumer. Don't tell me any of that. He's a tight ends coach. He's not the OC. He's not the offensive coordinator. He's going to struggle learning this playbook. And I think regardless if it's Sean Hill or Sam Bradford, this team's going to struggle this year. If they win 4 games this year, I won't be surprised. The bad part about this, they don't have a first-round draft pick, and that just makes me mad. because this could very well be a bad season and they could get nothing out of it. And the team that they traded for Sam Bradford, the Eagles, 29. Honestly, it's the rookie year of Carson Wentz. Just get him out there, let him play. Whatever happens, happens. At this point, you haven't had that bad of a time with your new GM. He's done a fantastic job. Somehow, someway, you were able to get a first-round draft pick this year. That is great. Carson Wentz could be getting some targets next draft. Then we have the last three teams. First, the 49ers. Oh my goodness. Blaine Gabbert's your starting quarterback. Do I need to say more? Then you have the Browns, 31. You didn't get last. Congratulations, Browns. I'm still not that confident. I will say this. This will be a bad year. But the future looks somewhat promising, more promising than it has in a long time. I'm not going to assume that the Browns will be becoming a good team. But on the other hand, let's be honest. The Browns aren't looking as bad as they once have. I like the new head coach in Hugh Jackson. Big season this year. I think they're still going to get a quarterback in the round 1 next year. But it's starting to look promising, but we need to see more out of this before I can really say it's starting to look promising. But expect the Browns to be in the 30s or high 20s throughout most of this season. And then finally, pick 32, the Saints. Now, they're considered on this ranking the worst team. I put them as the number 1 overall draft pick, mainly because it's more fun than putting the Browns. Both I had as 3 and 13. I might as well give it to the Saints, right? Now with the Saints, Drew Brees, you have him, but you have a terrible defense. I still think it's a terrible defense. You have some weapons on offense. It's just a confusing team. The cap situation is terrible, and I think you really can see the side effects of it on the team. They're another team. I think I probably will throw them in the category of the Vikings. I can expect them to do better than my prediction, and honestly, I'd be disappointed if they do my prediction. I think this team can win more than 3 games. However, people are putting them as playoff contenders, or maybe even in the playoffs. I don't think they're a playoff contender, let alone a playoff team. But that's my rankings from 1 to the Patriots, all the way to the bottom with the Saints. Leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and tell me what you think I did wrong, why your team should be higher. I just love to hear your reasons, and we can respond back and forth. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Again, give me your thoughts and opinions on my rankings below. Expect these every week. I'll be doing them all the time here for Sports Fan Entertainment. So subscribe to Sports Fan Entertainment if you're new here. Also like the video if you enjoyed. You can follow me on Twitter at AnthonyJamesTV, and you can subscribe to my channel, Anthony James TV. Both of those links will be in the description.
But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.